Hello YouTube world, welcome back to the workshop. A few weeks ago I made a bowl with 3 feet, and one of the tools I used was this. It's a chainsaw blade in a grinder. I do a lot of carving, I use this quite a lot, and I was quite surprised at how much control you have over it. It is the same as a chainsaw. If you get it presented at the right angle, it will run away with you. But if you use it properly, it's a very effective tool. It will really rip wood away, or it will take very light and delicate cuts. I had a lot of interest in this. A lot of people spoke to me about it. So what I thought I might do is just do a little project and demonstrate how versatile it is. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this piece of beech. I'm going to put it in the lathe, and I'm going to turn a foot on there. So I'll just hollow that slightly. Put a foot on there. I will turn some of this away. I'll take all that bark off, and then I'm going to cut it into an oval shape. So I'll round this off there, round that off there, and then I'm going to hollow all this with that chainsaw stroke grinder. I've never done anything like this before, so be a first for both of us. We'll see what it turns out like. So I've finished the foot off on the back, and I've turned this around in the lathe, and what I'm going to do now is just go in with this large Forstner bit. I think it's about 60 or 70 mil, and I'll just take that straight through the wood and take it down to my depth. I've taken this down to about 80 mil, which gives me about 15 to 20 mil on the bottom of the bowl. I'm just going to go in with my 1/2 inch bowl gauge now, and I'm going to rough away as much wood as I possibly can, and just to open the whole of that bowl up. That's pretty much all roughed out. So what I'm going to start doing now is just using the grinder or the mini chainsaw. Just going to round these corners off slightly, open that up into there, and make this more, instead of round, make it an oval. I've moved the head of the lathe around, so I've got easy access for that, and I can also use that to lock that in place, so it'll stop it twisting about as I'm trying to cut it. I think you see from that how quickly that rips that wood away. You can see the delicate cuts I've taken, as well as quite aggressive cuts, and I was always in control of the tool. What I need to do now is just take some of these corners away, just gently round that over. I'll take most of that off of there. What I'll do now is just start to clean that side up, down through there. that's all hollowed, all roughed out. So I'll do now is I'll move on to my swan neck Proxon, and that has an arbor burr in the end, and that will just finish that down to give me a much smoother finish. So now I've gone in there with the swan neck grinder with that burr on the end. I go in there now with my sander and just sand it all down. It's quite smooth. I've got 80 grit sandpaper on there at the moment, and what I'll do is I'll work through the grits. I'll probably go down to something like a 320 or a 240. So once I've sanded all the inside down, I'll take it off and I'll start on the outside. So that's it, finished. It's all been sanded down. I've sanded down through the grits. I've gone down to 240, and now all that's left is put a finish on it. For that I'm going to use this Libron finishing oil. Do get a really nice finish with that. And this is the bit I enjoy, because this will bring the grain out and that will look absolutely beautiful. It's really made that grain pop. That's really nice. Once that dries, I'll polish that up. Like a silk sheen on that. Be really nice. I'm just going to do the outside. I suppose that's the end of the grain of the wood there. I didn't expect that to soak in quite as quick as that. I'll get back to you when it's finished. Well, there we go, YouTube world, all finished. Nice beech bowl. Quite chunky, quite rustic. An oval shape as opposed to being perfectly round. I think the object of this week's exercise was I just wanted to show you that tool that I had in the grinder, that chainsaw blade in the grinder, how versatile it was, and how easy it was to use. As I say, I normally use it for carving. If you want to rip away a lot of wood very quickly, that's a tool to go to. And as I said before, it's not something I'd like to get my fingers in the way of, so you have to have a great deal of respect for it. Always make sure the wood that you're using is clamped down firmly, and I always make sure I keep two hands on the tool. That way they're always behind the blade. So it's not finished off completely, because normally what I'd do is I'd let that dry. I'd give it about 4 or 5 coats, sanding it in between each one, and then I'd buff it all up. As a departure from just turning wood, I think it's quite nice. I'm quite pleased with that. This is a nice piece of wood. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Steve Howe as always. I'm quite pleased with the outcome on that. I do quite like that. It's just unfortunate the choice of wood I used. So I'm off to go and light a bonfire and burn all the rest of that beech up. Thank you very much. Bye bye.